All right, guys, we got a dump. We got a crypto dump today. Bitcoin down to 113,611. Now, I believe a couple of days ago we dumped down to like 114, 113. Then we pumped right back up to 117. And now we're down to 113. I'll cut to the chase. This is a buying opportunity. If you notice, a lot of these altcoins, while they are down, they're not really down all that much. You would expect a lot of these altcoins to be down a lot more, especially Cardano. You know, this morning Cardano was at 92 cents and Bitcoin was dumping. Everything was dumping. And Cardano really didn't even start to dump until Bitcoin broke like 114,000. And then basically Cardano was like, okay, we can't hold on anymore. Which makes me think that Cardano is probably going to bounce back very, very fast. As you guys know, I've been trading Cardano. I'm completely out of Cardano right now. I sold it like 92 cents a couple days ago. I'm looking to buy back in. I should probably buy back in right now at 86 cents. And I probably will. But I think we could go a little bit lower possibly. Maybe down to like 79. If I could get Cardano for 79, I would be so freaking happy. So I might hold out for that. But overall, guys, you know, I don't really consider this to be all that big of a deal. Bitcoin hit like $124,000. Now it's correcting, consolidating. Ethereum basically almost hit its all-time high. Now it's correcting, consolidating. Still over $4,000, which is very, very bullish. I know everybody's very emotional right now. I'm on Twitter looking at all the posts. A lot of people are talking about $105,000 Bitcoin. Apparently, there's a lot of bids at 105. Here's an article. Bitcoin sell pressure palpable as Bitcoin bid support stacks at 105. Could we go down to 105? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible. If we have a flash crash down to 105, it's not going to stay there all that long. Unless we're going into a bear market right now, which I'd say maybe there's like a 3% chance that's happening. If we get like a flash crash down to 105, it's going to be there for maybe like an hour. Obviously, that would be a buying opportunity. Maybe you got like Cardano back down to 75 cents, maybe like 70, 75 cents for Cardano. I don't think we're going that low. I really don't. You know, famous last words. You know, I wouldn't really bet on anything, but I'm just not feeling it. I really feel like we're kind of almost at the bottom right now. Maybe we'll go down to like 110, something like that. But I think we're going to bounce back hard. I could be completely wrong. I'm just a regular guy. I don't know. But I'm not really all that worried about this, especially the way a lot of these altcoins have held up. I mean, you got Solana's only down 2%. You know? XRP is under $3, but $290, not too bad for Bitcoin dumping what? $4,000 or $5,000 in the last couple days. Normally, you would expect a lot of these altcoins to be dumping a lot more than they are. As far as the stock market, S&P 500 closes lower as NVIDIA pulls down the tech sector. Usually when tech is down, we had the same thing happen last week. Tech was down. And it brought down Bitcoin, and then 2 days later, Bitcoin pumped right back up. About $2,000, $3,000 in 24 hours. And your altcoins came up as well. Look at this article. Cardano is set for massive rally if a dollar breaks. How high can Cardano go? You know, for whatever reason, Cardano, it must be like a mental number. So I remember when Cardano hit a dollar back in like December. I was out at a bar with my friend, and Cardano was like 80 cents or something like that before I even went to the bar. I'm like 3-4 drinks in, about to call it a night, look at my phone, Cardano's a dollar. The next day, Cardano's $1.10. Then 2 days later, it's $1.30. That's pretty good. Cardano can pump very fast. And I feel like if we didn't get this whole thing cut short with the whole tariffs and all that crazy stuff, Cardano probably would have made it to $2. So once Cardano gets past $1, and we almost got there last week, Cardano went up to like 97 cents. Multiple times, Cardano's been at like 96, 97 cents. holding on very strong above 90 cents. I think we're going to get there very, very soon. Now, you guys know for the last year, I've been talking about MicroStrategy. I held MicroStrategy. I made money on it. But I've been telling you guys it's a giant Ponzi. And whenever the MicroStrategy Ponzi collapses and all the funds pull out of MicroStrategy, which they will, it's probably going to be what takes us into the bear market. You're starting to see those cracks forming right now on MicroStrategy. Here's an article. A veteran fund manager dumps MicroStrategy stock over broken words. Josh Mandel exits MicroStrategy, slams Saylor for breaking promises as stock slides 7%. I think MicroStrategy is down like maybe 20% for the month. MicroStrategy isn't just a tech company anymore. It's a massive bet on Bitcoin, and it's one of the loudest on Wall Street. Led by co-founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor, holds over 629,000 Bitcoin, worth over $71 billion. But not everybody is sold on MicroStrategy. On August 19th, veteran hedge fund manager and former MicroStrategy investor Josh Mandel announced his complete exit from the stock and didn't mince words. Mandel, who previously held shares on MicroStrategy and disclosed a $2.1 million position in Bitwise, revealed he had liquidated his MicroStrategy holdings after what he described as a breach of trust by Saylor. I actually bought above here and then Saylor sold, Mandel wrote. He said they wouldn't, and they did. At the heart of Mandel's frustration is the issue of valuation multiples and shareholder promises. According to Mandel, Saylor had assured investors during a live stream announcement that the company would not issue new shares of stock unless it was trading at or above 2.5x its modified net asset value, which means the value of Strategy's Bitcoin holdings versus its market cap. Mandel said he relied on that verbal agreement when entering the stock. When the company broke from the guidance and issued stock below the 2.5 threshold, he felt misled. He was misled. So here's what a lot of people have to understand about MicroStrategy. You take one look at Michael Saylor. I've always said it. I've been right about BitBoy. I've been right about everybody in the crypto world. Everybody. You guys can watch my videos. I told you BitBoy would be dead or in jail by this year. He's in jail. Basically dead. I called Terra Luna. Find my video. I told you guys not to buy Terra Luna. I told you guys UST was a scam. I told you guys that Celsius was a scam. I told you guys that BlockFi was a scam. If you're new to my channel, I called all of this, and I have it documented on YouTube video. Well, I'm telling you, Michael Saylor is just a sleazeball Miami guy, and I wouldn't believe anything he says verbally. Now, if Michael Saylor comes out and he says, I'm never going to sell Bitcoin, that means nothing. It means nothing. He's already proved that he's not a man of his word by this. If it's not in writing and Michael Saylor didn't sign something saying, I will not sell Bitcoin, it means absolutely nothing. If Michael Saylor needs to dump all of his Bitcoin, he's going to dump all of his Bitcoin. And I think that's going to happen in the coming months when he sees Bitcoin crashing as we go into a bear market. He's going to want to take profits. Michael Saylor is not going to want to hold Bitcoin back down to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, wherever Bitcoin's going to go. Not to mention, if Bitcoin does drop that low, and Michael Saylor's holding Bitcoin that was $150,000, now it's $40,000, he's probably going to get margin called, and he's going to be forced to dump a lot of the stock. So he's probably going to start dumping before that happens, and that's only going to further cascade the Bitcoin dump as we go into the bear market. So you're seeing a lot of people, and even Rand Nooner, if you guys watch Crypto Banter, he's been talking about this too. He made a video about it today as well. That Michael Saylor is basically what is going to basically trigger off the next Bitcoin bear market, and probably what takes Bitcoin down to $20,000 or $30,000. And you're starting to see the cracks. You're starting to see a lot of big-time investors starting to say, wait, this guy Michael Saylor, he's full of shit. He's gotten way too greedy. Obviously, his plan is to be the biggest holder of Bitcoin, be the richest guy in the world. Like, that's all he's thinking in his head. And anytime somebody has that mentality, it always backfires. It always ends in disaster. So you're starting to see that with MicroStrategy. The MicroStrategy is down. I think MicroStrategy is going to have another leg up, especially as Bitcoin goes up to like $150,000. But after that, I think that's it. And you're going to see MicroStrategy probably down. By this time next year, I think MicroStrategy is probably going to be down about 60 or 70% from where it is right now. So yeah, you're starting to see the cracks forming for MicroStrategy. It's all over the internet. You guys can look. Just like I called BlockFi and Celsius collapsing about 2 or 3 months before it happened, you're going to see in about 2 or 3 months, basically half the people who are invested in MicroStrategy are going to realize it's a big scam. All right, guys. Bitcoin 113,572. I've been trading Cardano. I'm looking to get back in. This is absolutely, I love this dump, guys. I love it. I'm not afraid of it. I want it. I like it. It needs to be here. As you can see, Bitcoin goes up $500 from 113, and you're even seeing a lot of these altcoins even turn into the green a little bit. So to me, in my little monkey brain, that means if Bitcoin does have a quick flash down to 110 or whatever, the minute we pump back up, these altcoins are going to fly. Even Cardano is back up to 86 cents. I mean, if Bitcoin gets back to 1,000, or excuse me, 114,000, 115, Cardano's right back to 92 or 93 cents. So guys, buying opportunity, not financial advice. It could all go to zero tomorrow. And yes, I would like to, we are limited on time. We really only have 2 or 3 more months to make money in this cycle. If Cardano's hanging out at 85 cents in November, I'm going to have to come out and capitulate and say, this bull market fucking sucks, and we might have to just sell. But as of right now, I think this is a normal dump after Bitcoin hit 124,000. And a lot of these altcoins are holding up very, very well. Even some of these lower cap altcoins down 4 or 5%. Is that really all that bad when you have Bitcoin that dumped from 117,000 just a couple of days ago? Now we're down to 113. You would expect a lot more than that. And you would also expect the Bitcoin dominance to be a lot higher right now. So I think this is all great. Great if you're a trader like me. Well, I'm not. I'm a little bit of a trader. 90% of my money is basically long term. But if you're looking to play around with some XRP or Cardano, now's in my opinion, a great time to get back in. I'd like to see like maybe an 80-cent Cardano, a 79-cent. I think that would be like woo, like that would be like golden. But I think at like 85-cent Cardano, you're almost guaranteed within the next 2 or 3 weeks to be able to sell at 95 cents or $1. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I could be wrong. All right, guys, like and subscribe. Talk to you later.